Here.
Mrs. Krieg?
Here.
Mrs. Milliken Dixon?
Here.
Mrs. Ortiz? And Mr. Pierson?
Here.
Are we in compliance, Madam Treasurer?
We are.
This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is a time for public participation during the meeting as indicated in the agenda. If you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any correspondence?
I do not.
Any correspondence, Dr. Lombardo?
No, not at this time.
Okay. All right. I need a motion to waive the reading and approval of the minutes.
So moved. Am I
Second.
on, Tony?
Did I get a second?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cybulski?
Yes.
Mrs. Krieg?
Yes.
Mrs. Milliken Dixon?
Yes.
And Mr. Pierson?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, good evening, everyone. We're going to do some recognition now. I'm very excited, and I'm going to have Michael King come up and let's make sure this is working and talk about Chase Nicastro. Are you here, Chase?
There he is.
Please come on up. This is an exciting time, so please come on up.
We don't have like Price is Right music or anything. Just
We need it.
come on down. We could put in we should give it like one of those wheels. Oh. I always imagined myself if I did that, I would go under somehow. But anyways, so in a minute, I'm going to tell you how amazing he is. But the first part about this is he will never tell you any of it. Chase does exactly what's asked. He does it on time. He does it with that little bit of a twinge of a smile. Just one of the nicest, kindest folks you ever want to meet in your life. And amen. So, anywho, so let's get to the good stuff. I have a copy for the papers here in just a quick second. Geneva High School is proud to announce that senior Chase Nicastro has been named a commended student for the 2026 National Merit Scholarship Program. This recognition places Chase amongst the top 50,000 students nationwide who achieve the highest scores on the preliminary SAT and the qualifying test. The commended students are recognized for their outstanding academic promise and exceptional performance on this highly competitive exam. Chase's dedication to academic excellence and a strong work ethic reflect the very best of our students here at Geneva High School. We are incredibly proud of his accomplishments and the example he sets for his peers. And again, for those of you who have taken the PSAT, it's not fun. It's not something you do just because you have a free Saturday. No. So I give you a ton of credit. Obviously, I've seen you in your classes. You do a great job there, and it translated into an excellent performance on your PSAT. Congratulations, sir.
Let's hold that. We're going to take a picture. No. Come on in. Congratulations.
Eric, did you get one? One more for the paper, you guys?
Jen, can you share it?
Yeah, one more for Eric.
Can you share it with?
Okay.
Congratulations, Chase.
Congratulations,
Nice job.
Chase.
Okay,
Good job.
Thank you.
I'm going to try it this way. Now I'm going to be talking about the Eagle Team Member of the Month for October. So if you weren't here last month, we started a new program where we are honoring our staff, one from each school, Staff does an amazing job, and when I first got here, that's all I kept hearing about is just how special this staff is, and they really are. We keep having multiple, we're up to like 58 nominations already. Unfortunately, we can only give one per school, per month, and these are the winners, so if you hear your name, please come up. Austin Berg, Cynthia Peck, custodian. Cynthia here? Cindy, in my opinion, is the best employee. She does every task with a smile. Never complains, is an 100% for the school. Have you ever seen someone clean up vomit with a smile? That was I said. This is right from what people said, just so you know. Cindy does because she loves her job. She also helps out in the kitchen as a monitor, and the kids adore her. She's a great team player. Austinburg Elementary literally could not run without her. It runs smoothly and cleanly thanks to her. So let's give her another round of applause. And then Cork, Keisha Estevic, teacher, are you here? She is at soccer. She did tell me that. We're going to read all the good stuff about her. Keisha creates a classroom environment where students are collaborative for who they are and their needs truly met. Her room is based on co-regulation, acceptance, and building upon their interests and skills. Aides feel supported by her. Parents deeply trust her. She helps all students in the building by giving them a safe place to be throughout their day. She kindly educates, gives resources, and helps all staff members. She is constantly researching and educating herself. She is our students' best advocate, and she helps make Cork feel like a team and a family. Congratulations to Keisha. GPS, Diane Lambert, secretary. Yay, come on up. Diane is organized, efficient, and kind to others in the GPS office. Her daily presence is appreciated, and she performs her duties as school secretary. And I will tell you, she really is a delight every time I come in. So congratulations, Diane. And the middle school, Courtney Harriman, are you here? Yes. I'm going to get yours. Congratulations. I'm going to say some great things about you, too. So please stand right here. So Ms. Harriman is very kind and direct and offers extra help to students when they need it. She is very clear of her instruction in her math and career exploration classes. Ms. Harriman also gives her students opportunities to share examples, work problems, while giving polite, constructive criticism. It's a pleasure to work with her. So congratulations, Courtney. And we have Sheena Townsend. Are you here, Sheena? Oh, I didn't think she could make it, but she goes above and beyond her job. This is at the high school, always willing to help others, goes above and beyond her duties, and is always there for people in the cafeteria. So congratulations, Sheena. And this is a new employee, but got a lot of props here. So Spencer Gale, our SRO, come on down. I would like to take this time to recognize our SRO officer, Gail, for his outstanding contribution to Geneva community. In the short time he has been with us, he has quickly built a strong rapport with students and staff alike. Officer Gail is constantly present, approachable, and willing to lend a helping hand whenever needed. His professionalism, positive attitude, and genuine care for our school makes him a valued member of our team. He has truly made a positive impact in a very, very short time. So congratulations to him again. You guys got to get your photos.
Took you out, sorry. All right. All right, it's time for public comments. If anyone has any public comments, now is the time. Come up to the microphone and give your name and address. You have 5 minutes. Anybody would like to come up and speak? You're welcome to.
My name is Diane Breening. I live at 825 Sherman Street. I live right next to the middle school, and I find it rather disconcerting that, unfortunately, the gutters haven't been cleaned out, it looks like, in years, because there's vegetation this high growing out of the gutters, what I've noticed on the north side. I live right next to it. I see it all the time. And I just, I got this maintenance schedule that you pass out to City Council about the new stadium that you want to build, and I appreciate you have a maintenance schedule, but what we have now really needs to be taken care of too. And I know what happens at my house when I don't clean out the gutters. It'll start to rot. Mm-hmm. So it looks like there hasn't maybe ever been a plan, because there must be a lot of sediment in those gutters for there to be that much vegetation growing. So I really hope that you guys, get somebody in there to clean the gutters out at least. Maybe all the schools look like this. I don't know. I only pay attention to what is in my neighborhood. So I think we taxpayers are owed this, because that's our money in the school. And
Could I get your name again, ma'am? I'm sorry.
yeah, Diane.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's just what I wanted to bring to your attention. That
Right.
I don't know. It
Well,
just
we appreciate it. We'll definitely look into it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. All right, report of the superintendent.
All right, yes. So the superintendent recommends approval of the Athletic Aquatic Center use agreement with Spire in regards to the swimming competitions and team practices for the 25-26 school year.
Need a motion, please?
So moved.
Second. Discussion?
Are there any particular changes between what we have been doing before with Spire for swim?
No, this is, my understanding is the exact same contract as last year.
The district does not own a swimming pool, correct?
That's correct.
Awesome.
No one in the county owns a swimming pool. We all use Spire. Am I on, Tony? Yep. No one in the county owns a swimming pool. We all use Spire.
Awesome.
All right, roll call, please.
Mrs. Cybulski?
Yes.
Mrs. Krieg?
Yes.
Mrs. Milliken Dixon?
Yes.
And Mr. Pierson?
Yes.
All
Motion
right.
carries.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. Motion carries.
Get too excited.
That's all right. I know, these are exciting times.
The superintendent recommends to the board that they recognize the indoor track and field 2025-2026 season as presented in the attachment.
Need a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
When is indoor track and field season? Does anybody know that?
Winter.
It's a winter
Yeah,
sport.
it's
Winter.
Winter. So it's like,
Obviously. Thank you, Mrs. Cybulski.
it runs congruently with like swim and basketball.
Does it? Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Krieg?
Yes.
Mrs. Milliken Dixon?
Yes.
Mr. Pierson?
Yes.
And Mrs. Cybulski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, the superintendent recommends approval of the enclosed agreement between Barber and Hoffman Incorporated and Geneva Area City Schools for the provision of limited professional services. And during discussion, I do have Benjamin Pintabona here who will talk on this.
I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Thank you, sir. Good evening. You have a proposal in front of you from Barber and Hoffman. They are an engineering firm. They specialize in structural work. They're an old firm. I think they're close to 140 years old. They're out of Cleveland. And one of their areas of expertise are wood and light gauge metal trusses. So they're perfectly suited to do what it is you need them to do. The proposal is for them, and they have already been up in the truss space in this building, have reviewed everything, documented anything that's damaged, that needs to be addressed, remediated, either replaced or, for the most part, repaired. And the proposal that you have in front of you is for them to do all the documents that you're going to have to get a hold of so that you can put this out to bid and get the work done. But that's it. And I'll be happy to answer any question you have about any of that.
Could you,
Go ahead.
could you just give a brief little bit of history about what this is about for those that did
Sure.
not hear the initial
Of
discussion
course.
about why
Of
this is
course.
happening?
So you may recall this past or last winter, end of November, beginning of December, this part of the state, Northeast Ohio, had a pretty serious snow event. I think it started November 30th and ran for a few days. Just east of here in Ashtabula, at the center of that, in Saybrook Township, they had 63 inches of snow all over the period of a couple days, which is what led to the collapse of the back half of the academic wing on Ashtabula or Lakeside High School. You are not in danger of that here. However, just out of just to be careful, you hired me to get up into the attic space just to take a look to see if there was any damage, if anything had shifted, if anything had buckled. And after that initial visit, there was some minor, and it isn't minor, you got to remember that, damage out here. I think you had 43 inches of snow out here, if I remember correctly. So I listed all that, came down, spoke with the folks over at the administration office, and suggested they get an engineering firm out here to take a look at it, because I know what I'm looking at, but unless there's alphabet soup after your name, it really doesn't count. So I recommended Barber and Hoffman, which you folks hired to come out and do an assessment. They got up into every area of this building with the exception of one, which I'd been into, and I told them I'd reviewed everything up there and I didn't see any damage. It's a small area at the northeast corner of the building, but everything else they were into. They walked every truss, both sides of the corridor. It was hot, it was difficult, but they got it done. And they delivered a report that you folks hopefully you should have seen. That led to my recommendation that you bring somebody on board to get the documents together, the drawings and the specifications with the repair protocols, so that you can put that out to bid, get a contractor in here, and get those things done as soon as possible. And that's what's in front of you now.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I do have I have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is it just this building that could possibly be a problem, or should we be checking all of our buildings?
You should be checking all the buildings, and I met with Superintendent Lombardo, and we agreed. I went over to your records building with your facility manager, Scott Ola.
Scott.
Yes. He and I spent about an hour and a half over there. We pulled up all the drawings for Cork, Austinburg, and I believe the middle school. All three of those have light gauge truss sections in the roofs. We pulled out all the contract drawings, the submittals for those trusses, and I suggested he get up into those attic spaces to take a look. I offered to help. If he needs help, I'll be happy to do that. So that is in the process, and you should look at those as well. You're probably fine, but you won't know until somebody actually gets up there and inspects it.
Okay.
Can I ask a mundane question? You
Of
already
course.
answered it last time.
Okay.
How much over capacity was the weight of that snow during that event compared to what it should have held?
Sure, good question. So I don't know about here, but let me just talk about, because I'm so deep into it at Ashtabula, because that 63 inches, everybody that's anybody wants to know what happened. So 63 inches of snow translates into just over 90 pounds per square foot on your roof. Ohio Basic Building Code says you have to design for 30 pounds ground snow load, which translates into about 27 to 28 pounds, depending on where the building is, who's in the building, what the shape of the roof is. So in the case of Ashtabula, probably 3 times what that was designed to take. Now, there's a lot of safety factors. Engineers are notoriously conservative, thank goodness. Here, I'm sure it's in the report.
It is.
If you read the report Barber and Hoffman wrote for you, it probably withstood twice what it had to be designed for. It's really robust. I talked to another engineer who reviewed these drawings, and he said this morning, this school was built was designed, it came up to 45 pounds a square foot of load capacity. That's 50% more what code required, which is probably why you fared as well. That's a high school. I don't know about the other ones. I haven't seen any. I've seen that paperwork, but I haven't really dug into it. So,
Thank you so much for your time.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Matt.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, roll call?
Mrs. Milliken Dixon.
Yes.
Mr. Pierson.
Yes.
Mrs. Cybulski.
Yes.
And Mrs. Craig.
Yes.
The superintendent recommends approval of the enclosed settlement agreement. We had a staff member last year do some work for us, and this is just a settlement agreement to pay that amount of money.
Need a motion, please?
So moved.
Second? Roll call?
Mr. Pierson.
Yes.
Mrs. Cybulski.
Yes.
Mrs. Craig.
Yes.
And Mrs. Milliken Dixon.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Now, as you're looking at the board agenda, you will see many numbers on the left-hand side, and these are board policies for adoption. I know in our district, we allow 2 readings before we approve any kind of policies. We met 2 times with our policy review committee. We have a couple board members on there, some administrators and board office people on that committee. So we went through these policies. I do want to bring note to the 5136, which is personal communication devices. Basically, these are our cell phones. Starting in January, and this is very, very important for everyone to understand, in January, the law states that you cannot use your cell phone during the school day. We have looked at this policy, and
I'm sorry, Paul, to clarify, we mean students.
so student day,
Students,
yes.
not staff, though, students.
Students.
Right.
Yes. So during the student day, they cannot use their cell phone. The way we currently do it, our elementaries, they don't use them at all right now. At the middle school, they have to put them away. They do not use them at all. At the high school, though, it's different. They can use them during passing time as well as lunchtime. And I know there's some high school students here, so you're not going to be happy about this. But the law is telling us that you cannot use it starting in January. So this is the first reading of this personal communication device. We do want to follow the law, but we also understand that there are times when students may need to use the phone. So there are exceptions in there when you look at that policy about if there are 504s or IEPs, if there are emergency situations, if a teacher deems that it is appropriate for the educational purpose at the time, they can say, please take out your phone and use it. So there are some exceptions. So it's not a hard, fast rule, but it is, we're going to be very, very mindful, especially at the high school starting in January. And this is the first reading, which has all that information in there. So this is a first reading, which means there's no action that needs to be taken by the board, but I can answer some questions, or you can email me those questions and I can have them available for you at that time. But these will come back next month for a final approval.
So Paul, just to clarify, the new cell phone policy is obviously mandated by the state.
Yes.
Will they be able to use them at lunch?
They will not be able to use them at lunch because that's during the school day,
Right.
the student day, yes.
I've seen a lot of things around that students will still be able to use these in between class periods. The bill that I read, unfortunately, from front to back ad nauseum, didn't seem to have that provision, and it didn't have that capability. So is it our understanding that from the initial bell until dismissal, the state is asking us to tell students that that device is not to be used in any capacity.
That's correct, and we did confirm that with our Neola rep, who's really the expert on these that sits with us during our meetings. But that is true. From start of school to the end of school, cell phones need to be put away and not be seen.
Interesting. For reference, the reason I ask, this is what a typical policy change looks like, the little blue dot. And it's usually saying he, she, they, we, and taking the pronouns and saying person. But the state, in all of its infinite wisdom, has decided that after 15 years of using cell phones, that this is the change that we should make. Not that we should make, that we have to make. Just to be completely transparent.
All right. All right, so again, I'll bring those forward in November to have a final reading. Number 6, the superintendent recommends the following personnel actions for 25-26 school year. And you will see that's our hiring, those that may have resigned, extracurricular activities, substitutes, as well as we do have a bus driver trainee, so we have an additional bus driver trainee. Very excited, we have 4 people that are bus driver trainees at this time.
That's great.
Oh, cool. Nice to see Ken Holcomb as a teacher as well. I think he is going through the bus program as well.
I believe, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
that's awesome.
absolutely.
So where are these folks in their training, Dr. Lombardo? How?
So they should be ready by January. They all have finished their coursework, and then they do need about 30 hours on the job training.
And then they can be a bus driver.
Then they can be a bus driver.
Nice.
Yes. So we have 3 that have said yes to this, and they're still in the program, which is a very good thing since we started. So we are looking to open up a couple more routes, probably in January. We do have one other person that does have their CDL we may be hiring. In case people didn't know, we had 5 open positions. We're hopefully going to be able to secure 4 in the next couple months, which would allow us to open up a couple routes.
Which does what? What does opening routes mean?
Well, this means we currently have 12 routes. Opening up a couple more routes will mean less time for students on the bus.
Yep.
And we'll be able to really take care of the needs of the district. Right now, I will tell you, compared to last year, my understanding, the bus drivers are doing an amazing job with just 12 routes. But we feel if we can get to 14 or 15 routes, we'll be in very good shape.
And I just want to comment that I've still heard that transportation is an issue, and I just want to say that it's so much less of an issue than it was last year, even. So last year, for example, we had 17 routes and 14 drivers or something like that. And instead of, I shouldn't say that way. So we tried to stretch that out and double the routes and all that. So this year what we've done is we took the number of drivers and divided the number of students by the number of drivers. So instead of making drivers double route, I'm not articulating it right, but
No, you're right. You're
we
absolutely
took 12 drivers and made 12 routes. They're longer routes, yes, but they're not doubling up. And so now when we add 4 more drivers, we'll divide that again and shorten the routes, shortening the time the students are on the bus and making life easier for everyone. And that just makes so much more sense to me. And so I know that Scott Ola, Kathy Odegaard, Dr. Lombardo, all of you are to thank for that. And I just want to point that out.
Thank you.
I want to
We're
say
on the
something
road.
really quickly, too. I really like that the people who have been running transportation and being in-cab OTR or long-haul transportation professionals are the people that are helping make these calls.
Yeah.
Before this, I don't know who did it, but they decided that, well, you go and you pay your MBA or your degree, you can enroll as a bus driver, you pay for all of your Euclid training, and then after 6 months, we'll pay you back. That's a lot of money. Well, now we have trainers who are driving with these people. We have agreements that help contingently cover costs. They also ensure that we retain to protect our investments and get those bus drivers in here. We've had former bus drivers that haven't driven for the district in years come back. And I really thank Scott and Kathy because they were the ones beating this drum for a long time. And I appreciate you for taking them seriously, because I know sometimes it's easy to bring in a consulting firm and a white hat and a master's of business administrative architect transportation. But listening to people we've had in the district for the past 10 years seems to have helped alleviate this problem and in the long term solve it. So I thank everyone for doing that. Shout out to Scott and Kathy especially.
Absolutely. And Scott and Kathy do deserve all the credit for this. I mean, Kathy is up all night long looking at routes, making sure things are working. And I'll talk a little bit more about bus right when we get to it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, now's discussion.
I would like to talk a little bit about, before we move on, for our, well, is that in the same? I want to make sure I'm in the same range. But we do have a retirement. Ann Krieg has been at the high school. She's going to be retiring. She's been with us for 22 years. So I can, like a dual hat of being a teacher, I can tell you right now, the world does not function without your bus drivers, your housekeepers, your custodians, your
Amen.
life is really, really rough without those folks. So thank you so much, Ann, for your dedication and 22 years with Geneva Area City Schools. We appreciate you, thank you, and you will be very much missed. So.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But
All right.
roll call?
Mr. Pierson?
Yes.
Mrs. Cybulski?
Yes.
Mrs. Craig?
Yes.
And Mrs. Milliken Dixon?
Yes.
All right, we have to hear me a little bit, but we have Ms. Chavi is going to come
Hold
up.
on,
Nope.
one more.
No,
one
what
more.
did I do? I always miss
You
it.
missed the
Number 7.
volunteer.
Oh, that goes next.
Yes.
Which one? Are we?
Number 7.
I did that last time. I better get my act
I
together.
thought that was all part of it.
Or we
too.
can come.
I thought it
We'll
was
put
all
it in your
part of-
evaluation.
I'll get you a copy of Robert's
It's
rules.
volunteer, so.
It's all right.
Okay. The superintendent recommends the following volunteer coach for the 25-26 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Didn't she just win some kind of
She
award?
sure did.
Yes.
There she is. All right, roll call, please.
Mrs. Cybulski?
Yes.
Mrs. Craig?
Yes.
Mrs. Milliken Dixon?
Yes.
And Mr. Pierson?
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, now you
Now I
can
can
go.
do it.
Now you can go.
All right, we're going to have Ms. Chavi set up here. And we're going to talk a little bit about our presentation, but I'm going to move to this mic. Okay, so I have a couple slides and a couple updates for everyone. Yeah, I'm going to do this, and then I'll hand it over to you. So we're going to talk about our Students Advisory Council, who I'm really, really excited about, our new Facilities Management Program, bus transportation updates, and then Ms. Chavi is going to go over our report card. I do want to tell you this, we had our second meeting for our Superintendent Student Advisory Committee. And for some of you that don't know that, I put together a committee of high school students who are looking at goals, what they feel they want to contribute to the whole as far as Geneva area schools. We had our second meeting today where we're talking about our goals and our fundraising. I've got to leave you in some suspense because we're getting our SMART goals together, and we're going to do that by the end of the month. But in November, I'll be able to tell you all the things that these students want to do. And it's a lot, but I really give them a lot of credit. Each month, we're going to have 2 of those students come up, tell a little bit about what Geneva means to them, and then go over the goings-on at the high school. So I have Jovan and Hannah Dunn, Jovan Sanchez, come on up, and let's give them a round of applause. They're our first students.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jovan Sanchez,
I'm Hannah Dunn.
and us two, we're a part of the Superintendent Student Advisory Council. The council basically just consists of students like us who really like to be involved in our community, and we prioritize you guys, even the small kiddos and everyone else, and we just come up with cool little plans on like what we think can help future generations. To start off, we're gonna talk about what Geneva means to us as high schoolers. So the Geneva Area City School District as a whole has impacted me my entire life. I mean, I've been in Geneva since I was in kindergarten. I went to GPS, and it's given me so many opportunities to excel as a person here, even through the high school. When I was little, I had a little bit of a language barrier because Spanish is my primary language with my father, but a shout out to an amazing teacher, Mrs. Cram, who was formerly known as Miss Gibson before she got married. She was one of my ESL teachers that helped me, feel more comfortable with the language and everything. And that really impacted me from a very young age. And as I progressed throughout the years, even through middle school, I took all the chances, the classes, I learned how to study. And when I got to the high school, that was where I felt most ready for. I feel like the middle school and elementary school, our education there has heavily impacted me even through here. Our high school offers many APs that I've tried to take them all. And it just teaches me good morals and how to be a leader. And I'll never forget what the school has impacted on me after I graduate this year. Thank you.
For me, I've been a part of Geneva since I've been in first grade. And from that time on, from now when I'm my junior in high school, I have made great relationships with a lot of my teachers, coaches, and administrators. They are some of the best people that I've met, and they're just great support systems, and especially my elementary school principal, Mrs. Doherty. She was in elementary school. She was part of the reason why I wanted to be an educator myself, because she just made it seem like something that it's really important, and she just made it seem so effortless and fun, and I really appreciate that. And then when I got to the middle school, it was just a continuation of that. Even in like 6th and 7th grade when it was online, all of my teachers were still super supportive and super level-headed as much as they possibly could be with everything happening. And especially when I got into the high school, it just everything, like Jovan said, just I felt so prepared and ready for whatever I wanted to do. And something I really am grateful for is the amount of leadership that I get to experience, not only in the district, but also out of the district with things like Hobie. That's a leadership camp that happens over the summer in John Carroll. It was the best time. And anyone who has a kid that's a sophomore this year, tell them to apply. I wish I could go back, and it was the best time. And I think that once I graduate next year, I have the tools that Geneva has given me to be the best person I can possibly be to everyone that I meet. So thank you.
From what we're trying to say is we have an amazing district. So that's what we're trying to say. But also on our agenda that we would like to discuss is stuff that is keeping up within the high school of our daily lives. So to start off with, you want to start off with?
So it's about the time where like a lot of fall sports are ending or coming to an end and winter sports are starting. So we just wanted to tell you all about how each sport went. So I'm going to start off with tennis, which I play. Our overall record was 14-4, and with an undefeated CVC record of 10-0. And we also were CVC champions, both in the regular season and the tournament. And then all county, second place. And then first team all conference was first singles player, Ashlyn Thompson, myself, Hannah Dunn, and third singles, Jackie Patterson. Second team were doubles teams of Lucy Peterson and Alex Doring, and Elizabeth Ralph and Jillian Menard. And then for first team all county, it's just myself, Hannah Dunn, and then the second team is Ashlyn, Jackie, Jillian, Elizabeth, Lily, or Alex, and Lucy. And this past year at sectionals, all 3 singles players won 2 rounds of their matches, which hasn't happened in a really long time. Ashlyn and Jackie made it to their qualifying rounds, which is super good, and we're all very proud of them. And Ashlyn Thompson won CVC Player of the Week a couple weeks ago. So, moving on to soccer for girls, they held a record of 7-7-3. In their conference, they went 4-0-1 and tied for first in CVC with Madison. And then they play their first tournament game at CVCA tomorrow night. And then the boys, their record was 7-9-1, and then their conference record was 3-1-1, and then their first playoff game is actually tonight versus St. Vincent St. Mary. It's at Spire if you guys want to go watch. For golf, for girls, their record was 8-3. They were CVC champions, and first team all conference was senior Sarah Cybulski, senior Chloe Dodge, and junior Caden Siegel. And then second team was junior Eliza Smid. And then boys, their record was 10-3, CVC champions, and then first team all conference was sophomore Matt Oros, junior Shane Menard, and seniors Logan Rustick, Isaiah Rose, Luke Krzelik, and Will Dushny. And then volleyball, their record in the CVC was 7-3. They were second in CVC overall, and their first tournament game is Tuesday, October 21st. And then I want to talk about the band, which I'm also part of. I'm the head drum major this year. We kind of wrapped up most of our summer stuff we've done a lot of parades with Austinburg Country Days, Geneva Grape Jamboree, and Walk for the Cure. And we also did a lot of band nights with Conneaut, Edgewood, Lakeside, Jefferson, and if you don't know what those are basically football games, but just the halftime shows of all the bands. And then we didn't do our own this year just because it was a lot to handle at once. So we plan to do ours next year if you guys want to come out and watch. And then we're looking forward to performing for the rest of football season and pep band season with basketball. And we're also currently working on our winter concert music. So if you guys want to come out, I'm not sure what the date is yet. Oh, and also for the first time in a couple years, we actually successfully have put on a second show. It's always been in a conversation of, we want to do more music because those of you that go to a lot of football games and see the same show over and over again, we wanted to switch it up a little bit. So our theme is women in pop this year, and we finally had gotten everything on the field.
So as you can see, we have very outstanding reports. Okay. I'm going to be talking about, for the 2 sports, I'm going to be talking about football and then cross country. For football, I know our football team is amazing. We're playing great. And from what I've heard from the boys, even during the school day, I think we're ready to take on the one school. Can't say the letter because it starts with an M, but I think we're ready. So let's go, Eagles. Theme is neon, so parents and everyone, feel free to get involved with the student section as well on Friday. For cross country, we had our CVC meet that was hosted here in Geneva for the first time ever, which was quite an experience that I can tell you, because for the previous years, we have ran at Cardinal High School, and I feel like we share similar characteristics as a high school with them and here, and it was a very good turnout. We had shirts, we had a bunch of teams over at the baseball fields, a bunch of competition that we were all ready for. Our team has been very strong. We've been working on mileage ever since the end of track season, which is in the spring. So personally, I'm happy that now we're in the part of the season to show all our hard work, and all of us are placing, all of us are getting amazing PRs, and we're finally here for breakthroughs. For CVC, our first team winners for the boys was myself, and then for the girls, we had Taylor Nels and Riley Andrusis. So that just makes me happy to see that our team, we have good role models, we're a strong foundation for Geneva running, and myself and Riley are seniors this year, but we're ready, And we hope that we set a good example for all the younger kids, because I know Coach Long's going to have a great time, because those are amazing kids, they're amazing runners, and they're going to have amazing role models with the kids that we have now. Moving on from cross country, we had, in the high school, we had our very own homecoming. So that was amazing. It was a huge turnout. I've heard amazing reviews from everyone. We had a really good DJ. Overall, it was a very good experience. Everyone looked very handsome and beautiful in everyone's dresses and suits. So I'm glad that everyone had a good time. And then another thing that was talked about in the high school was the Grape Jamboree. Another huge turnout as well. Myself and my friend Sarah Cybulski, we volunteered in helping out with the grape juice stand over near in the middle of town. And we were just people watching, serving grape juice, and it was an awesome time. And I think the part most special about the Grape Jamboree is that it brings everyone in as a community, and it reminds us, hey, like, this is who we are here in Geneva. We love grapes, and we love unity. That's the one thing that we love. And overall, it was amazing to see everyone interact with each other, and I'm just really happy that we have it every year, and we're very fortunate to have people all across Ohio come and see us, a small town who has a lake. So another thing that we also wanted to discuss were the starting of clubs. It's still early on in the school year. However, we are both a part of the Geneva Youth Philanthropy Club, and we have so many ideas on nonprofits that we want to help, that we're excited for. We're waiting for them to ask for us. We're really excited to explore Ashtabula County and see what we can do as a school and what impact we can make on those. And then another one was Interact Club. Still, we're starting off short because it's the beginning of the year, but we put in a bunch of work every single year. We just helped out with the grape run, and that was a huge success over at the middle school. Miss Ball and I, we helped out too, and with a few other students too. And it really just shows how involved that our students want to be in our school. So, anything else? Thank you so much for all of you guys having us, and have a good evening, okay?
I could listen to them talk all night long.
UN when? Model UN when? It's been 2 years, man. You guys are joking with us.
Well, I would like to thank them very much. It's amazing when you just allow kids to just talk and do their thing. It just shows you what an amazing group of students we have here. And I get to work with students like that in this superintendent cadre, and I can't be more proud of them. So awesome job. You guys did an awesome job. All right, now I'm going to move along on some of the things I've talked about the last couple months. Well, our new facilities management program update, FMX, this was launched on October 1st, and what this basically is, it's a computerized maintenance program where we put in work orders electronically, transportation electronically. And you may say, well, have you done that electronically before? No, we haven't. We've been using a lot of paper and pencil, and nowadays when things change, it's very difficult to do those things without electronic programs. So this program has been implemented for the last couple of weeks, and it's going very, very well. Transportation update. There is a date up there. October 24th, we are launching our Bus Right app. This app, so what's going to happen on Friday, the 24th, all parents will get a message from Bus Right. It'll have that little Bus Right in the upper right-hand corner. You'll see that come through on an email. It'll ask you to sign up for the Bus Right app. Please go ahead and sign up for that on the 24th. On the 27th, the app will be live. Our bus drivers are currently using the equipment, and they are going to be using it for 2 weeks. Bus Right asks, their best practice is to allow the bus drivers to use them for a couple weeks, make sure that what they're seeing in the app and what's actually happening in real time matches. You may recall last month, I talked a little bit about the app. It allows you to see things live. It gets updates, so when people come into the district or people leave the district, there's an automatic download or upload, whatever you call that load, at the end of each night. So everything is live and everything is ready to go. So you'll be able to look on your app to see where's my son or daughter, what time will they get here, is the bus late. It's a pretty amazing app. So that is going to be sent out on the 24th. Okay, so look for that. And that's all the updates I have. And we're going to turn it over to Ms. Chubby, our Assistant Superintendent. She handles our curriculum instruction, and she's going to talk to us about our report card.
Thank you, Dr. Lombardo. Originally, when Dr. Lombardo said I have to talk about data, I'm so excited because that's what I love to do. I had like 100 and some slides. He's like, no, you got to cut this down. So I did the best I could to cut it down. So last month, the report card had just came out. So Dr. Lombardo just gave us a quick overview of some of the highlights of the report card. But today we're going to take a deeper dive into some of the indicators. First, I'd like to start with the kindergarten readiness assessment. So, what? Oh, sorry. No, sorry. Okay, there it is. So if you look at the kindergarten readiness assessment, this is something that the kindergartners take when they first come to our district within the first month of school. And what we're seeing is roughly 32.2% of the students that are coming to us are demonstrating readiness to learn what they need to learn in kindergarten. But that means there's 60%, over 60% that are not ready. Okay, so when students enter kindergarten without the proper adequate preparation, that places students at an immediate disadvantage. Some possible solutions to making sure that our students are coming ready to learn when they get to us would be expanding our pre-K program. That's one possibility to all elementary schools, because right now we just have one pre-K program, and that's at Austenburg. We could also hold parent information sessions and help parents help their kids get ready for kindergarten. And we can provide books and resources and learning materials to parents to support early learning skills at home. One thing I'd like to point out, and this is the trend data for the past 4 years, notice that it fluctuates between 33.6% to 28.6% where they're ready. So that, again, we're consistently seeing kids, 60% of the kids are not ready for kindergarten. So we really need to address this issue. Moving on to K-3 literacy and the third grade reading guarantee. So even though the kids are coming to us disadvantaged, look at this statistic, 82.5% are leaving third grade ready. So kudos to the elementary, the K-3 teachers. What a great statistic that is. They're doing a fabulous job with the students they're receiving, and so we should be very proud of that statistic. Some areas of focus for K-3 literacy and some action steps that we can take. First of all, we did get a new K-5 ELA program called CKLA. So we've been providing high quality professional development. It's always hard to start a new reading curriculum, and we're trying to support teachers in that effort. So at the beginning of the year, we had the initial curriculum training for CKLA, and we are providing job-embedded professional development. Just this month, we're going to have the CKLA coaches coming to each building. They're going to be working with the teachers, watching teachers teach, giving them pointers on how they can use that curriculum with fidelity, because that's going to really be important when we're trying to raise our reading scores. So we're going to have one round of coaching in October. We're going to have another training in January. And then in February and March, we'll have another round of coaching again. Again, we're trying to make sure that our teachers have the support they need to implement this new curriculum. Additionally, we are going to be using TBTs. So for people that don't know what TBT is, it's a teacher-based team where teachers have time to collaborate with one another and discuss data and how they can improve instruction. They learn from one another, so it's a form of professional development for teachers as well. And they're going to be meeting an hour, I believe it's an hour a week, or an hour every two weeks, depending on the school, because some schools have more time than others. But they'll be able to work with the data and look at data and see how they can help support students in increasing their achievement, okay? And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to start a multi-tiered system of support committee. Multi-tiered system of support. So tier 1 is just your normal teaching, good, high-quality teaching. Tier 2 would be an intervention for students that are struggling, and then Tier 3 bumps it up a little bit higher, okay? So we're going to be looking at what supports we have in place, what supports we can add to ensure all of our students have the support they need to be successful. And as I mentioned before, we're going to look at the feasibility of having a pre-K program at each of the elementary schools. Chronic absenteeism, this is a big problem. This is only one measure in the gap closing indicator, but I think it's an important one because if kids are not here, they can't learn, right? So chronic absenteeism is defined as missing 10% or more of instructional time for any reason. That means they go to the doctor's appointment, they have a funeral, anything that's even excused absence. The state does not care why they're missing school, okay? And neither do we, honestly. We need kids to be at school so they can get the education they need. So right now, our chronic absenteeism rate is 31.7%. That's very high. The average for the state is 23.7. So we have a lot of work to do in that regard. Let's take a look at each building individually. So Augustenburg has the lowest chronic absenteeism rate at 17%, but the goal for the state is 16.4%. So even though they're doing a great job getting the kids to school, they still have a little work to do. The highest absentee rates can signal barriers such as health concerns, transportation issues, family circumstances, or school climate factors that may be impacting our students. If you notice, all the other schools also are having chronic absentee problems. Okay, so it's important that we take action to reduce the chronic absenteeism in the school. Some actions we might be able to complete at the building level. First of all, we need to look into the data points and pinpoint trends and the reasons, do like a root cause analysis. Why are students missing, okay? We have to engage families, personalized phone calls, outreaching, setting clear expectations about attendance and the link to learning that causes. Improve school climate by creating a welcoming environment, mentoring programs, check-ins, and positive reinforcement. And again, as I mentioned before, we're going to have that multi-tiered system of support. The multi-tier system of support is not just for academics, it's for behavior and attendance as well. So we're going to take that whole system and make sure it applies to the whole child. Despite the chronic absenteeism that we have, we are still meeting the achievement goals for the state. So we got a 3 in achievement. So that is fabulous news because if we decrease the chronic absenteeism, our achievement rate's just going to go up just because the kids are here more. So I'm excited about that. But still, we're going to look at some of the specific grade levels and some of the achievement levels that we've had. So if we look at grades 3 through 5, we can see that we are generally performing at or above the state average in most tested areas with the exception of 4th grade ELA and 5th grade science. At the middle school level, is that it? Yep. At the middle school level, all subjects came in below the state average, which indicates a need to strengthen Tier 1 instruction. So I'll talk about what that looks like at the middle school later on. But also notice that the state averages aren't that great for middle school either, but still we're below them, so that's not good. At the high school level, the one that stands out the most is geometry at 39.5%. But the state average for geometry is just 44% itself, so that's a tough test to take, but definitely something we want to take a look at and see how we can shore up our geometry instruction. Okay. So some steps that we're going to focus on for improving student achievement. So some focus areas. Well, first of all, we've developed an instructional framework to support student engagement and continuous improvement. And do I have time to show that real quick? Okay. So I'll just talk briefly about it. It's in the PowerPoint. You can click on it. So first, student engagement. I always say the person doing the reading, writing, and speaking and discussing is doing the learning. So we have to have students engaged in the instruction. We can no longer have teachers, the sage on the stage, just spewing out information. The kids need to be actively engaged in the learning. We need to ensure that students have a voice and a choice in their education. I call that student agency. They are the creators of their experience. So how are we going to achieve that? Well, in our TBT time, which I know the union's talking about, if we're going to have a MOU, we would like to have a late start for students 1 day a week. The kids would still come to school, and we're thinking of having some other teachers have like study halls or something while the teachers do their TBT time, which means at the middle school and high school, basically. Elementary school has it built in already, but middle school and high school, they have no time to collaborate. So we want to build that for the teachers so they can learn professionally together. They can look at student data. They can see where they need to improve instruction or where they need to support students. So that's the one way we can help improve our instructional. The one thing I think teachers, I wish I can go down here. Yeah. Okay. So the one thing I think our teachers do a fabulous job in is that's creating positive relationships with the students. So I'm not concerned at all about that part of the instructional framework, but it's important. It's important that kids feel welcome in the classroom and that they feel safe at taking risks and expanding their knowledge. We also want to ensure that we provide specific and timely feedback to students regarding their progress towards the learning standards. And we want to make sure we have a cycle of continuous improvement. So during that TBT time, the teachers are going to look at data. How did we do? How can we improve? Make the adjustments. Again, assess, look at data. Again, look at how can we improve. So that's that continuous cycle of improvement. All right. So that's that Tier 1 instructional framework that I was talking about. In addition to the Tier 1 instructional framework that we're going to shore up, we are going to start some Tier 2, Tier 2 initiatives. So at all of the elementary schools, we're looking at providing an after-school program for students that are struggling, and at the middle school as well. And so what we are going to do is we're going to ask teachers to stay after to provide intense, high-quality instruction for students that need it. They would get paid a stipend, obviously, and we would pay for this through, we have some money on the Disadvantaged Pupil Impact Aid Fund that we would use for that. Students attending the program will receive high-dosage tutoring, which will support advancement of the skills that they need. And finally, we are developing that multi-tiered system of support, which I talked about earlier. We have a committee already together that we have 18 staff members, and our first meeting is going to be October 23rd. Okay, this graphic, I love it. One of our seniors, Wyatt Jones, created this in his marketing media class with Mr. McCoy. This is just kind of a brief overview, kind of an iconic symbol that teachers can have real quick to see, am I providing this high-quality Tier 1 instruction? So this, along with the multi-tiered system of support, I have no reservations. I believe that our student achievement is going to definitely increase. The last indicator I want to talk about is the college and career readiness, college and career workforce readiness and military readiness. So this is a new indicator this year. We received a 1 on it. So to me, that just says we have room to grow. So it's new for all of us this year. So as you can see, we need significant support to meet the state standard in this area. But it is important to note that this is data from 2024. Next year's report card will show data from 2025. So we're always a couple years behind, and the reason for that is it takes time to finalize some of these numbers, like AP scores don't come out till July. Military enlistments, they might not be enlisted at that time. Credentials might not be done by that time. So we're always kind of like a year behind that measure. So the things we implement this year, we won't see for a few years. So let's look at each of the measures right now. So as you can see, we get most of our points from ACT remediation-free scores and honors diplomas and AP scores. So what that tells me is we need to focus more on career readiness and workforce readiness. So not everybody should go to college or needs to go to college. So we need to make sure people are, and not everybody can go in the military. My son's in the military, it's not for everybody. Okay, you gotta be a certain type of person to do that. So we need to make sure the rest of the students are ready for some workforce or career, and that's gonna take some career exploration and some work on our part. So how are we going to accomplish this? So first, we need to increase the programming. So we are going to be starting a pre-apprenticeship program next year called ACE. It's Apprenticeship and Career Exploration, where students in the program will have an opportunity to explore one of the 4 career pathways and earn an industry-recognized credential without leaving Geneva's campus. So that's exciting. Next, we have the Rise Up program. I know we've used it a little bit in the past, but we're going to ramp up the use of that for certain students. Basically, that gives the students an industry-recognized credential in retail industry fundamentals and customer service and sales, which, I don't care if you're going into service, sales, you could be going into work at Progressive Insurance. You still need to know customer service, and you still need to know this information. So it's good for all kids, actually. And then finally, the Ohio Means Job Seal. So basically the Ohio Means Job Seal is how kids can earn industry-recognized credentials as well, and it contributes to students' success after school, even if they're going to college. Okay, so we're going to have every junior complete this Ohio Means Job application in government class, and that way every student has that under their belt, whether they go to college or not. So all these action steps that we outlined will boost our report card, but more importantly, it's going to make sure our students are prepared for whatever their future holds. Does anybody have any questions? And thank you for your attention. And does anybody have any questions for me?
I do.
Yes.
So, kindergarten screening.
Yes.
So, my understanding, and correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong, I'm not early childhood. You're telling us that 60% of the students we screen and bring in are not ready for kindergarten.
Yeah, so every
So then
kindergarten,
why are we bringing them in if they're not ready?
well,
Maybe I don't understand the.
every kindergartner that comes in, we have to screen them within the first 30 days of them attending.
Oh, this is post.
Yeah, after preschool. So some kids
what's the
don't go to
preschool?
preschool. Some kids
No, I
are
get
homes,
that.
you know, yeah.
A
so,
lot don't.
Yeah.
So, oh, maybe it's the readiness I'm thinking about. Before they enter, before they enroll in kindergarten, there's a screening, correct?
We screen them the first 30 days they come in. Some districts do it before they even come in, but I think it's good for the teachers to at least get to know the kids before they give them a test. So we do it within the first 30 days of kindergarten.
The state says the KRA has to be given in the first, I think, is
Yeah.
it the first 20 days of instruction?
Am I
Yes.
confusing the two things? There's a test they take before they enter, and you can
Well,
turn them away, correct?
that
They're
is,
not ready for
that's for early entrance.
That's
So
for early entry.
So if a student
Okay.
isn't 5 by a certain time, I believe it's August 1st. August 1st, yeah. So they would have to be tested to
Then
see if
those
they're.
kids, we can say wait a year.
Yes, correct, yeah. Mhm.
But if they're 5, we
Yep.
take them,
Yep.
whether they're ready or not?
Correct.
All right, there we go.
Yep.
The other thing, in your solutions, provide books and resources to support the early childhood.
Yeah.
Instead of providing them, there are those resources. We should refer them instead of paying for them ourselves.
Well, I was thinking.
Like Head Start, for example?
Yeah, but I was thinking more of like having a kindergarten, like first night, like in the spring, where the teachers, I haven't talked to anybody about this, but
Yeah.
where the teachers might come in at night and the parents could come in and learn some games that they can play with the kids over the summer. So that would get them ready for kindergarten when they come in the fall,
Sure.
but we haven't talked about that yet,
I'm
but
just
that was
saying,
an idea I had.
There's a
yeah.
ton of that we wouldn't have to provide. We could just give them.
Yeah, like, learning games, easy stuff that we can make ourselves, just idea, or even get some books that we can give to the parents
Okay.
for over the summer to read with the kids, because
That makes
reading
sense.
with kids is very important, so.
So the August 25th CKLA training, who took that?
All K-5 ELA teachers.
Okay. And then in January, the strengthening training?
All K-5 ELA
And
teachers.
that's part of the January PD?
Yep.
All right. I think that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions? All right, thank you for your time, everyone.
Wait, Jen, up
Yeah.
there. I just wanted to give her a lot of kudos. We, coming in new, we really committed to the board and the community to really look at things and to do our best to put some things in place. Looking at the report card, there's a lot of really positive things happening with the report card. And some of the things that we highlighted that aren't so great, we are going to be working with principals on building action plans. So next week, Jen and I will be meeting with all the principals. They're doing 2 academic areas and 1 area of climate. We're going to be working on plans with them. They're going to be working with their staff because the principals are the leaders of those buildings, and we want to make sure that we don't interfere with that, but we want to provide support from the board office. So I think there's a lot of great things in the future for Geneva schools. I thank Jen for her expertise and just for her creativity and for putting that PowerPoint together. So thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
That was
you.
brilliant. Jen, I do have one more. Yeah. Jennifer, I do have one more. So when you're talking about the college career workforce stats,
Yes.
does that include the ATEC grads, or is that?
Yes, that
just-
includes ATEC.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Thank you for all that.
Yep. And there's one final thing. So all of these PowerPoints from the first 2 months and this PowerPoint, I'll place this on our website. So if you go into the superintendent's page, it'll be on our website. You can see the last 2. This PowerPoint looks a little better than the other 2, so forgive me for that. So kind of stick with this one. So every month you will see all the information we talk about on our website, again, underneath the superintendent's page. And if you go to the superintendent's page, I have my 100-year plan. I did go
100 years.
100 years.
I know it feels like 100 years by now. Boy.
I'm very optimistic.
I'll tell you.
Very optimistic.
We
I'm
are
gonna be
working him to
around
the
a while.
bone.
Sounds like you used to work for AccuWeather, their 100-day forecasts.
Oh my goodness, yes, it's a 100-day entry plan, and you can see that I have updated it. And I'm also, and I have to say, you know, days 31 through 60, I'm already through most of those. I'm very proud of that, but we're going to continue to work hard.
What day are you on?
What's that?
What day is this?
I don't know. It's less than 60, I'm pretty sure.
I know there's been a lot of questions about the report card on social media, so I was just asking him if they could put in this slideshow so folks could see the data there, and maybe we can break down a little bit what Mrs. Chowby talked about, because I thought that was a really good breakdown of what, you know, kind of, those scores are always in the rear, so it's a little hard. You have, like she had said, you have to wait a little bit for that data to catch up. But some of those, you know, that information is wonderful, and the action steps to go along with it. Thank you so much for that. That's just wonderful. I'm so excited about the career readiness. That I'm stoked about that. That's going to be fantastic. Because you're right, not everybody, college is not on everyone's docket, and we have to consider that and have a plan. We need a plan. No, yeah, exactly.
You want a loan?
So. Thank you. It was wonderful. But, okay.
Are you done?
I am
Are you
done,
sure?
I promise.
Okay. Mrs. McDermott, you're up.
Okay. So I have given you your monthly financial report for the month of September. I did place a new one in your folder. The report that originally was in the drive, the first 6 pages had the spring forecast still attached to it, so it is updated with the forecast that was approved last month. Again, don't forget, the forecasts are now changing, so we will not have one in November. It was due today to the state, which is why we approved it last month. So kind of just walking through where we're at today as compared to last year, as compared to last year at this time. And just a friendly reminder, when you analyze our numbers for the month as compared to last year at the month, you know, timing is everything with these when it comes to things that aren't salaries and benefits. Or sometimes with salaries and benefits, it may change because we are paid every 2 weeks here. So your third pay of the month may come into a different month than the prior year. But again, looking at our revenues were up compared to last year, $130,000. Just a friendly reminder, again, you know, last year at this time, our DPIA funding, we were not considered CEP yet, so you'll kind of see that kind of change a little bit, and starting with October. So again, you know, timing is everything. Year-to-date revenues are $243,000 higher than last year. A lot of that, I should say at least half of that is we did have that advance at the end of at the end of the fiscal year in June to transfer money into the lunch fund as we were waiting for our reimbursement from the state. So that was returned, and that is considered income. So there's $105,000 of that $243,000. Some of that also, again, compared in the past was the investing, so interest income. Going to expenditures, our expenditures were up almost $96,000 compared to last year. Salaries and benefits obviously will make up a lot of that due to the CBAs. Again, if you look, we're down in purchase services and up in other expenditures. Again, those can fluctuate due to the timing of receiving of bills. Again, the way that the projection is going forward, is kind of an average of what has happened in the past. So going through our expenditures compared to prior year to date, we are up 800,000. 446,000 is salary and benefits, again, to go along with the CBA. All other expenses are up 376,000. Just so you know, we did pay, we have a network management that we had an E-rate match to. We did pay it in full, and we were reimbursed the 87,000 of that, so that you will show, so it'll actually be a negative expenditure coming in October that we received. So again, it's the timing of everything. So as of right now, last page of the colorful document, so we
It
are
is
kind
pretty.
of going against the forecast. So revenue, we are trending an additional 3,663 higher than the forecast. And our expenses, again, are trending a favorable 345,000. Again, I know I'm missing some bills in my purchase services that are, haven't been paid yet. So again, that timing is different. So that will fluctuate each time. But obviously going forward, we are on track. Just so we can have a shout out to our Grape Jamboree. We did get what place?
Oh, second. We got second?
First place.
In the float.
Second. Our float got second place in the parade on Sunday.
So we
We
did
got
receive
$25.
a nominal donation. So we have stuck that
Thank
into
you, Jennifer. The float was all Jennifer.
the education, our new educational foundation. So we will see our first deposit in there.
We won
next
$25
month.
bucks
$25.
in cash.
So going forward, we just have our normal reports that you can see where everything's at and
Where
all
did
of
that
our
go,
funds.
by the way? Where does that go in the
It will, next
Fund.
month, it'll show up on this cash summary report
Okay.
in Fund 29, just so
That's
you know.
funny.
And I did it again. I did not take a motion in a second before I started this lovely report, so I need a
We had a
motion in a
great time.
second.
Crystal and Paul walked, and I got to sit Michelle and
I'll give you a motion. Can I have a second, please?
second.
And do you have any other questions on the report?
I do not. All right, roll call, please.
Mrs. Krieg?
Yes.
Mrs. Milliken Dixon?
Yes.
Mr. Pierson?
Yes.
And Mrs. Cybulski?
Yes.
Really quick, I just wanted to touch base also. House Bill 186 is a hot topic in school finance world, and I know Mr. Pierson's going to kind of touch base on this. I just want to kind of give you a synopsis on what's going on with this House Bill 186 and how it's going to affect the school district as a possibility. Again, nothing is set in stone. So it is a property tax relief bill that is going through both the House and the Senate. If it goes through as of today, how it's proposed, what it's going to do is we are on the 20 mil floor, which means as property taxes do increase, we do pass that increase along. Districts that are not on the floor, they do not, those communities do not feel that impact over all their tax levies, only on the inside millage. So what they're trying to do is kind of fix that, but they're also trying to make it retroactive on the last triennial update. So what this kind of means, I've got a few different models that have been presented in my forecasting software, so I've sat in multiple webinars about this. One of the modules will show that if this goes into effect, retroactive back, that means basically in fiscal year 2027, they can possibly at one time take away $3.2 million that we will not receive that year. And then take a little bit more in the next 2 years, again, very minimal as compared to the initial hit in 2027 of $3.2 million, for a total reduction that they will not give us on past, or take it away from past, $3.594 million. Another scenario that we have is using the Legislative Service Commission estimates. So the Legislative Service Commission is a nonpartisan agency that provides the Ohio General Assembly with fiscal analysis. This one Overall, it will be a 4.457 reduction over 3 years. $1.8 million, almost 1.9 in fiscal year 2027, 1.7 million in 2028, and 860,000 in 2029. What they're saying is they're hoping that the state will pick up some of this, but the state will not pick up near to the hit that we will receive if this does get approved. So just so you know that that is coming up, I think they are voting on Friday. So we will have more information, obviously, in October and
November.
Sorry, yes, we are in October, thank you, in November, as this keeps coming through and going to fruition. So very hot topic in my world of the income that will be lost if this does get approved. And, you know, if this does get approved, then we can, you know, talk about the effect on the school district after that happens. Just want to let you know that that's also out there. Real quick, you also have the food service monthly report. So as Mariah, Ms. Wilson, is learning how to do the reports as compared to they were in the past, so we have kind of put in our receipts for the month of September. Again, remember, the only receipts we're really getting are a la carte receipts and adult lunches, since we are CEP, so everyone does have free lunch and breakfast in the district. Right now, we are running on a negative balance, but we do have a reimbursement for, I just got it yesterday, for the month of August and September, so for 127,000. So we are not in the red per se with that pending deposit coming in. So again, that is something that we will continue to look at in the spring if we want to stay CEP. Again, the positive effects of that CEP, even though our expenditures might be a little bit higher than our revenues, even coming in from the state, is that we do get the additional funds in the disadvantaged pupil impact aid, which we can use, how Mrs. Chaubey said, through high dosage tutoring. So it does give us an extra $1 million to spend. So again, you know, we lose $200,000 in the lunchroom as compared to gaining $1 million to better educate the children. So again, something that we will totally evaluate come spring before we have to make that decision. So just want to give you an update on those. Also in front of you, I would like to motion and a second for the approval of the disposal of the attached list of assets as they are no longer of use to the district.
So moved.
Second.
So again, these items do go for review, and if they are able to be sold at public auction or traded, Mr. Brigard does look at that, and he will put that on the public surplus site. Any questions on the list?
Roll call.
Mrs. Milliken Dixon.
Yes.
Mr. Pierson.
Yes.
Mrs. Cybulski.
Yes.
Mrs. Krieg.
Yes. Motion carries. Legislative report.
Everyone's favorite time of the night. Luckily, the fine men and women in Columbus have been keeping us pretty busy. On the 6th, I had started trying to make sense of the things that David Thomas is writing, which have amalgamated to this Senate Bill 186. Essentially, David Thomas amended a Ways and Means Committee hearing, and this bill, if passed, is going to basically reduce the minimum amount that goes to schools. Now, there was a solution to this already in place with the bipartisan enacted fair school funding plan, which broke down the millage according to need. It was variable. It was made by a fiscally conservative member of the Congress and someone who actually, the state representative that was from here, I believe it was John Patterson. So these two basically sat in a room and duked it out until they got something that they could present to either side and avoid partisan lag. In all the infinite wisdom, the State House decided that that was stupid and they're going to scrap it, and now they are affecting about 80% of schools in the state of Ohio are on the 20 mil floor, meaning that they're just going to reduce the amount of money that they collect. I read this bill, and as an analysis from it, I don't even think it's technically constitutional. It gets around an equality that has basically, I get taxed what you get taxed. And so to put it into perspective, back in 1991, us homeowners, right, in the district, we paid about 47% of what schools operated on, which is still high, let's be honest. Now we take 70% of that bill. So between abatements and the wonderful Spire tax credits back then, great, we incurred even a larger chokehold. Take that into consideration with, everyone has heard this a million times, so forgive me, but we've heard like a million people talk about, well, my house went up 24 to 30%, and it did all over the state. But in Ohio, that means properties evaluated at 150 basically entered 1.5 new mills. That's pretty significant when you factor in the 20 mil floor. So I understand what this bill's trying to tackle. For our district, which is essentially a 90 square mile district that covers a gigantic amount of land, we have the township, we have the city, we have South County. It's gonna gut the services, and I don't understand what went into it, and I definitely don't understand how someone from Ashtabula County drafted it. I don't think that it's going to pass as is through the House. If it passes at all, it will be heavily amended. I believe, if I'm being honest, that there is a large abolish tax movement occurring right now, which is putting significant pressure on Mr. Thomas. I think this is a chance to say, well, I tried and it didn't work. Therefore, we're going to have to go back to the FSF funding plan, because as written, I don't think it can constitutionally pass without OASBO, which is an organization in the state that has a lot to do with administration contracts, the Ohio Bar Association. You're going to have the rural education conglomerates come out. You're going to get the unions. You're going to get the admins. And at the end of the day, this has a larger impact on township services. And I don't want to mess with anyone from the township. So if you want them to come to your meetings, keep it up. But for me, I'm going to try to make sure that they have the services that they're constitutionally guaranteed. Other than that, DeWine has been talking about giving out some school bus money. The Ohio Department of Education and Workforce, so pleasantly named DO originally. Now they changed it to ODO, but I like DO, so we're going to keep it that way.
I like ODO.
Has authorized $10 million in competitive grants. So you basically, it's if you guys have ever done the Voice of Democracy challenge, it's like that. Hey, we really need school bus money. Please give me that check, Mr.
No,
DeWine.
hey, we really need school bus
Yeah.
money. Right? It's that.
Right, and actually, to the credit of Ashtabula County, we had Mr. Schaefer, I believe, up at Geneva on the Lake, and a few people from ATEC that won extremely competitive grants, and they've been reaching out and helping similar districts. So that's cool to see. I'm hoping that we're trying to chase at least some of that to recoup taxpayer costs. Other than that, the Education Committee has been talking about some pretty symbolic stuff. If you want to hear me talk about the Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair Act to prevent discrimination, I'll do so upon request. But most of these I'm gonna gloss over. A lot of acts that are typically like name your main street after a public figure kind of thing. The Public Safety Committee heard from House Bill 371. This bill would make elected officials mandatory reporters of child abuse and neglect. To explain that, the changes you saw me hold up that are completely highlighted in green earlier, they actually reduce and eliminate the words mandatory reporting. That shows why our lawmakers are not paying attention to their bills, and so they're going to sneak this in and go back and fix it. But the people who educate your children or people who are aware of horrific things like that should be mandatory reporters. If they ask that of our law enforcement, if they ask that of our teachers, then it needs to be district-wide. And then it's going to come back to the House Public Insurance and Pensions Committee. I've tried to wrap my head around this one for a while. I guess the state decided that with the property tax issues that we're having, that they need to eliminate pickup on pickup, which basically is it's a solution for a problem that doesn't exist. I wish the people trying to pass that well. And then over in positive news that comes for our more rural areas, there looks to be relief financially for the foreign firms that have seen no export in commercial crop sales, which actually do affect schools. If you guys are aware of that, we're currently engaged in an intentional trade deficit to try to encourage the domestic production of crops, goods, services, tariffs, if you will. And as a retaliation, our soybean crops sales, transport, IFTA taxes, while they're tariffed, they're not being purchased. So as strange as it is to be on the stage talking about soybeans right now, we're taking a look on how that affects people in our district who do grow a lot of cash crops and cover crops, and trying to keep an eye on their infrastructure as well as this 20 mil reduction. And with all that exciting news, I think that's really it for me. Thanks, everyone.
No more tofu.
Sorry, soy boys. Get it somewhere else.
All right. We'll skip over for ATEC from Mrs. Ortiz since she's not here. Board member reports, shares.
I had something I wanted to talk about.
Besides soybeans?
Yeah, unfortunately, it does deviate from the soybean hook, but I guess I could relate it somehow. Looking at our report card, last year I asked a question when I was at the meeting that said, are we going to test the kids all on the same day? I was told no. And we did that, which means every tutor, every student, every teacher, every aide, every guidance counselor, every administrator, and Missy, you do something with testing, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Meant that they were all taking care of every single one of those kids' needs, services, issues, absentees, all on that same day. I've never seen that before. And it reflects heavily in this. We just finally got our ELA curriculum, which is a huge issue because it does affect language, and the understanding of how to communicate affect the way that we do numbers. Because when you read word problems and you can't fully comprehend what they mean, whether it's give, some, of, from, what have you, there's a huge issue. And if we go back in time and we look at our weakest scores in 2020, was 5 years ago, that would be the equivalent to the first, second, and third graders. First grade, you're going to learn your prefixes and your suffixes. The second, you're going to learn your phonetics and how to implement them in sentence structure. And third, you're going to become your mastery, third and fourth. The people who are in that area were instructed via remote certification, computer only, no one-on-one, face-to-face communication. And when they came back, we did not have a curriculum that served them. When I say we, I mean the board as it has existed from 2020 and prior. So we're playing catch up on that. I'm not trying to drive home the fact that 60% come not prepared. That's not what we want to say. We want to say how do we increase that? But for our state report card to be as good as it is, I still want to be hypercritical that we had a huge need for ELA, which is language arts, that went from first grade to 12th grade, and it wasn't, here is a series of books from 1986, here's a new online-only program, COVID, here's another online-only program, we're going to read the Harry Potter books, read the Constitution and tell me why it's important and have a good day. That doesn't work. And so I'm hoping that when we see this ELA, especially with the way, and I really appreciate the next steps, that we see that. But to take ownership of that state report card, those aren't excuses, those are what we're up against. We have to drive home the measures to address this preemptively, which is something I think that my colleagues have been doing, and be out in front of the fact that we can try to argue about technology versus online versus books, but we have to find kids where they're at and find out the best way to help that mastery of language and to talk face to face, because the people who had the worst of that statistically are where we need to meet them and help them. And I just wanted to have that, because I think a lot of the things we say are like, we're still a lot of good with the report card. But there are still problems that we have to fix. And I just, again, want to take ownership with that.
Thank you.
I have said, I think many of you have heard me say how many times we needed ELA curriculum. We need an ELA curriculum. We need an ELA curriculum. And then, yeah.
Missy, can you talk a little louder?
About the new program, in talking with a lot of the students so far, they are
so hard to learn new. Mm-hmm.
That's great.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And you know what else, Mrs. Craig? We needed you on the board to help us get that.
Well,
I will never forget the board meeting. I think you were running, maybe not yet. You threw a curriculum on the stage. It was still COVID time, and we were up on the stage, and she threw it on the stage, and she said, "Do better." And I was like, "I'm trying." Right? I was like, "I'm so sorry." But yes, I'm so glad that we've gotten there and that it's working. Good.
I think, and it's a testament to the teachers too, because I can tell you that I'm in a district right now where we have a new ELA curriculum, and it's exhausting. It is exhausting learning how to teach something new and do it with fidelity and be learning it at the same time that you're teaching it, and to do it well and to do it with rigor and all the things that you're supposed to be doing, and knowing that those scores are going to be coming, and knowing that everything is in the rears, and knowing that people are going to be, you know, judging and pointing and saying, do better, do better. But I think, you know, we're in this spot in Ohio right now with the science of reading and all of these things that are coming down the pike. I mean, we're in a good place, don't get me wrong, but we're in a place that we need to be. But just to hear Mrs. Chowbey come with these action steps,
Yes.
and just this full circle approach, meeting all the needs of all the kids in all the places. It's not just early childhood. It's not just the middle school. It's not just the high school. We're looking at all of our kids in all of the places, in all of the ways, and figuring out how we can meet them where they are. And that is huge. And I feel like as a district for many, many years, we just get we get in one lane, and we are only looking at those early literacy pieces, and it's so much more than that. So I just appreciate your vision and your leadership and hearing what we were saying. I mean, I just feel like we have bombarded you with so many things, and you guys have just jumped in. The water is really, really hot, and I know how hot the water is. So I appreciate all of the things, all of the action steps, and your leadership. So thank you both. We appreciate you. Are you done, Brock? Can I add
I'm
a few
done.
things? Okay.
You win.
Just a couple of things I wanted to add in. I've been to a lot of football games, and it has been a great season. We did have the Grape Jamboree Parade, which was a lot of fun. Mrs. Chowbey did the float. It was amazing. We had a good time doing that. I got to come to the lamp and pin ceremony yesterday that the academic boosters put on. They award, and so I'm going to share this, and you sharing this, the state report card and the career and readiness thing. So I'm going to share something. So my son was able to come and speak. The guidance office always, they ask an alumnus to come back, someone that's graduated, went to college, kind of got started on their way, and they ask them to come back and kind of share their journey and talk to the students that are getting a lamp, pin, cord, you know, they're being awarded. And so something that my son shared with me, he said, you know, they really should have all the kids in there, not just the kids that are going to college. And I thought, that's very poignant. And I mean, again, he's graduated from college. He went that path. My middle boy's in college as well. And I thought, that's really interesting. He says, because not everybody's going to go down that path, Mom. You say that all the time. And I said, I know I say that all the time. So I thought it was very interesting that this evening that was part of the share. So I don't know, you know, that might be something to consider next year when we have something that we can encompass to have everybody to be a part of that. Because I think last year when I came to that ceremony, I don't know, I think the presenter, I think he worked at the hospital, as I recall. Do you remember who spoke last year? Mrs. Cybulski? I can't remember. I feel like he worked at the hospital. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look.
Because the year before that was Mr. Hobel, right?
I can't remember. I feel like he did, I think he was like an x-ray tech or a phlebotomist or something. It might have been. It might have been.
Yeah, that is who
It might have
was.
been.
Yep.
But I thought, when Alex said that to me, I'm like, you know what? It would be really good for everybody to be a part of that. So, but it just kind of, when you were talking about that career readiness, I thought, well, it's come full circle yet again. It would be really great for everybody to hear that. So, but I really enjoyed that ceremony yesterday. It was nice to see, you know, him come back into his element and see his teachers and do all the visiting. But it was a great day. So, but that's what I have for this month. So.
I have a couple things. I just want to say how much I love this team. I think this board is really on a good roll. Thank you, Mrs. Campbell. I love the administrative team that we have. And I just think we are really doing what's good for our students and what's good for our community. And so I just want to thank you all for being part of it. I love the G on the lawn out here. How'd that get there? That's really cute.
Because we hosted the CVC.
That's the cross country.
I love it.
Yeah.
Up there. Big white
That was
G.
awesome. We ran the course the week before for our meet, and Jen Crosley says we need to put something Geneva on that
Up
hill.
there, yeah.
So she got that G put out there, and it was amazing when I pulled it and I saw it. I'm like, yeah,
It's really cute.
yeah.
We used to sled up there when Denny was a kid, because soon it'll be full of snow. It's a great sledding hill. Also, I still don't like the parking lot. I still cannot find my way around this new parking lot. I do not know how to park. And I just want to thank everybody because I love this job. That's all. That's all I have. Thank you.
I do just want to throw kudos out to Emily Long and Jen Crosley.
You did amazing.
The event last Saturday, we had 24 teams from across Northeast Ohio come to run our cross-country course, which we've only had in place. This is our second season of running on it. And I don't know how many student volunteers we had, but our student volunteers parked cars. We had no issues. I helped sell T-shirts. We almost sold out. We have 5 left. But the organization and the time and the dedication that Emily and Jen put into that event made our district shine. And I look forward to many, many more opportunities to bring people to our district, because we have so much to be proud of. We have a lot of work to do, but we have a lot to be proud of. And they did a phenomenal job. And the other thing is lamps and pins, to give the academic boosters a shout out. We talk about, we had Hannah and Jovan here earlier, and they talked a lot about athletics. Neither of them mentioned that they were at the lamps and pins yesterday and received accolades for getting a 3.5 or higher last year. So academic boosters, they are a small but mighty team, and they are the ones that recognize our academic excellence that we have here. This auditorium is filled with kids that are just doing their best every day, and I give them a lot of credit.
Awesome. Yep.
When I used to ride on that hill, they made me come see you, Mr. Market-John.
Was it during the school day?
We were just saying things that probably shouldn't have written on that hill, out in the snow out there. We drew a picture once, and that's what got us into trouble.
Should have just left it to a G.
What did you draw with?
Lesson learned.
And thank you, Mr. Market-John, for all of your help, too. He was in charge of all those high schoolers parking cars.
All right.
Anything
Can I
else?
get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right.
Mr. Pierson?
Yes.
Mrs. Cybulski?
Yes, sorry.
Mrs. Krieg?
Yes.
Mrs. Milliken Dixon?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned.